Hey guys, this is WhatskillingChloe, and I have decided that depending on how long the chapter is, I might narrate two chapters in one video. It's just a thought, but if it's like chapter 4 and has 5 pages, then nope, because I could barely read 3 without messing up a lot. And so, here we go. Chapter 4. I was in gym class running a few laps around the gym with Addie. She's in here with me too. I'm just lucky I have her to talk to. I mean, Ian is in this class with me too, but usually the coach is getting on his ass for slacking off, and he's always exercising out of punishment. I kind of get a kick out of it, though. Especially when he does jump squats. Man, the look on his face is priceless. It's like he's actually dying or something. It's hilarious. I take a break, and Addie does too. Got anything to drink? She asks, desperate. I shake my head and say, sorry, I forgot to grab one on the way to school. She pouts and whines. She's not exactly the exercising type. She's fit. It's just she doesn't like to get sweaty and stuff. You wouldn't even tell she's ran by now, as much by how much perfume she puts on afterwards. And she still says it's not enough, so she puts more on. My lungs are practically poisoned by the stuff. I'm surprised I'm still alive. We rest for a while until the coach yells at us to keep going. I groan and roll my eyes. Now, I know how Ian feels. Suddenly I hear a voice say, yeah, Umber, keep moving. You don't want to become a fatty, do you? Then a couple of girls giggle. I sigh. Oh yeah, those girls are here too. I turn and see one of them smirking up at me rudely. That one's Mandy. She's the leader of the little group. The other two girls are Claire and Stephanie. I always thought Stephanie was a nice name until I met that one. I'm sure there are other Stephanies out there that are nice, but this one is just a disgrace if you ask me. I ignored their teasing and kept running along the side with Addie. Don't let them get to you, she panted. I nodded and said, I don't plan to. She smiles, and we keep running. After we're done with our laps, we headed to the locker room. I was really thirsty, and so was Addie. The water fountain wasn't working, so we can't get anything to drink. I asked Ian if he had some, but he said he would need it since he always slacks off and does nothing. He should really learn to realize he's bound to exercise at some point and take a bottle of freaking water. Jesus, man, he's an idiot. Addie and I walk into the locker room and grab our stuff. Man, she whines again, I'm super thirsty. I'm about ready to rob someone of their damn drink. I chuckle. Typical Addie. I was putting my original shirt on when I heard a familiar voice. You girls thirsty? I turn around and see Maddie again. What does she want now? I smooth my shirt out and say, yeah, so what? She sighs a little and says, well, if you want, you could have my water. I already know Addie is about ready to say yes, but I talk. That'd be great, I guess. You'd be willing to lend us some? Sure, of course, Elizabeth. I'm not that cold-hearted. She chuckles. I still have a bad feeling about it, but I accept the offer. All right. Thanks, Maddie, I say. She grins and says, no problem. She walks over to hand me a bottle, but what I noticed was she had opened it already. I didn't like that. Before I could protest, she threw the water at me, wetting my shirt that I'm supposed to wear for the rest of the day. I frowned and was about to say something when I noticed the foundation on my wrist came off. The water must have hit my arms and washed it away. It was weak. This isn't good. Addie noticed the marks, and Claire noticed too. But she was the only one out of Maddie's group to see. I grabbed my gym bag and ran out of the locker rooms. I heard the girls' laughter as I ran, and even a little comment. Wet mutt. Great. They made up another one. I ran out, but slipped on some excess water that dripped off my shirt. I dropped my stuff, and it sprawled across the gym floor. A couple people who laughed, and I blushed out of embarrassment. I was left to struggle with getting my stuff. I went to reach for my gym shirt when someone else grabbed it and gave it to me. I looked up to see Ian helping me. He grabbed a couple of things and put them in my bag. Thanks, I muttered. He sighed and said, Let me guess, they threw water at you, and now you're dripping wet and embarrassed, and you slipped on some, and now I'm helping you. I hesitated, but then nodded slowly. He sighed again and says, Seriously, Ellie, you need to stop getting hassled like this. I'm the only one that can mess with you. Geez, thanks for making me feel so much better, I grumbled. He chuckles. Well, you know what I mean. Don't let them mess with you so easily. I'm not always going to be there to help you out. I nodded and understood. He's right. I reached for the last of my stuff, but he also reached too. I stopped before something awkward happened, but I should have dealt with it instead. Ian grabbed my wrist in hand and looked at my wrist. Ian grabbed my hand and looked at my wrist. He looked at me concerned and grabbed my other hand. He saw the other mark, then frowned. What the hell is this, Ellie? He asked. I felt uneasy and I yanked my hands out of his grip. Nothing. It's nothing to concern you. They're just marks, that's all. He's still frowning. He reached over to get the last of my stuff and gave it to me. Instead of putting it in my bag, he got up, looked down at me, still upset. They're not just marks, Ellie. And it is something to concern me. Whatever shit you're doing here, just knock it off. He stormed away and left me on the floor with my bag. What the hell was that about? He knows something, just like Jeff knew something. But neither one of them told me a thing. Not even a hint or a clue of what's happening. Well, they're both idiots, and I can figure out this on my own. I don't need their help at all. I got up and pulled my jacket out of my bag. If I'm going all day with a wet shirt, I'd better make sure to cover up for weather and privacy reasons. I was walking out of the restroom. The bell was about to ring, and I went in to dry off my shirt and to redo the foundation on my wrist. I'm still worried about Ian, and Addie hasn't mentioned anything about it either. I don't think Claire has told anyone, although I have the feeling that she will soon. She's not the type to keep secrets. She will and can spill all your darkest secrets if you're not careful. Believe me, I've seen people's reputations destroyed all because they told her some information about themselves and she told others about it. Some even moved schools so they wouldn't take the ridicule. I don't want to be one of those people. Not because my friends are here, but also because I don't ever want to be known to run away from my problems. I may look like a coward, but that doesn't mean I want to feel like one. There's a difference between appearance and personality. People only care about the appearance, but really, it all comes down to the personality. You just gotta know how to define it all. The bell rung, and I still need to get my bag since I was still in the classroom. Or it was still in the classroom. Once I got there, the teacher was already locking up in the empty classroom. God damn it. I know she won't open it again. I'll have to wait until tomorrow then. I sighed and brushed my hair back. This is not my day. Aw, did the little reject leave her bag in the classroom? I turned to see Maddie, Clara, and Stephanie. They laughed at me and walked away, Stephanie teasing me. What a dumbass. I groaned and banged my head into a nearby locker. Yep, this day sucks. I banged my head into the locker one more time when I heard, "Hey, don't hurt yourself." It was a gentle voice, and it didn't mean to say that in an annoyed way. I turned, but when I did, I wanted to hide in the locker. It was Travis. Holy crap, why is he talking to me? I stuttered and he gave me a small smile. I'm sorry, I said. He shook his head and said, "No problem, okay? But could you excuse me? You were just hitting my locker right now, so I kinda have to get my stuff." I looked from him to the locker, then back at him. I quickly stepped out of the way and stood in front of the classroom door with my bag in it. He looked at me and asked, "What's wrong? You seem upset." I shook my head and said nothing. He closed the locker and stood in front of me. "I know it's not my business, and I know we've never talked a lot, but I do know that you're upset. Can I help somehow?" I hesitated to look up at him, if I look up at him, I'll turn red and he'll think I'm weird, so I didn't look at him, but I mumbled, The teacher locked this classroom and my bag was left inside and I really need it." He smiled and said, "I can fix that. You got a hairpin on you?" "Do I look like the girl who would need those?" I asked, with a hint of irritation. His face went blank and said, No, not really." I sighed. I know he meant good, but there's no way he could help me on this. He thought about this and perked up. I guess he has an idea. He walked over to the locker a few feet away from his. He got the combination and twisted the knob a couple of times before it clicked and reopened. "This isn't your locker," I said. "I know," he said. I frowned and said, "Whose is it then?" "My cousin's," he said. "She got a few hairpins in here somewhere." "How do you know her combination?" I asked, a little worried. He smirked and said, "Because I know her like the back of my hand. It's Justin Bieber's birthday." "Oh, yeah, I know," he said and chuckled. And tune in next week for part 2 of chapter 4 because it's a really long chapter. So, and I don't know if you can tell, but my voice is like, okay. So, I'm posting part 1 now to make up for, not posting for 3 weeks. So, by next Wednesday, because Wednesday is my Jeff the Killer day, I will have this out to you. And I'm in the process of writing memories, if any of you guys like that one. Alright, have a very nice day. This is What's Killing Chloe, and goodbye.